Okay, so everybody has a favorite animal, and mine happens to be goats. I grew up on a farm, and this is actually one of the animals that we raised. And one of my favorite parts of showing at the fair was actually being able to educate the people about goats. So here is some of the history, the uses of goats, and some facts that make them unique. We'll start out with some history. There are over 210 breeds of goats in the world. Approximately 450 million goats around the world. They were actually first brought to America by Columbus in 1493. Actually, the Angora goats can date back to before biblical times. And goats are actually used for meat, dairy, fiber, and some people will choose to keep them as pets. Now, here are some breeds of meat goats. The Boer goats are considered to be the leading meat breed in the United States today. They're probably the most recognizable, having a red head and neck and a white body, and sometimes will even have white on their face. The Tennessee Phaeton goat also has a bunch of names: Tennessee Stiffleg, Stiff, Nervous, and Scare goat. They're considered a rare species by the American Livestock Breeds Conservatory and are currently on the recovery list. They suffer from a recessive trait called monotonia. When they are frightened, they will experience extreme muscle stiffness that causes extension of the neck and hind legs, causing it to topple over and onto the ground. It only takes like a few seconds, and then they're back up on their feet again. Also, some of the other breeds are the Spanish goat and the Caicco. And then some dairy goat breeds. The Nubian goats are actually the largest dairy goat breed. And then you have the Norwegian dwarf is the smallest breed. Actually, some people will crossbreed Nubians and Boers, which is actually, the top picture there is my goat Lily. She's a crossbreed of Nubian and Boer. We find that when we do this, the does will actually produce more milk for their kids. And that's a picture of the Nigerian dwarf. And then also another one's the Alpine, and they are also known as the Alpine dairy goats. And also for fiber, the Angora goat is probably one of the most known ones that produces fiber. They produce a fiber called mohair, but actually most goats will produce a fiber called cashmere. And also they can make great pets. Miniature goat breeds are probably the most popular breeds for pets. Obviously the pygmy goat, and then also the Nigerian dwarf, which we talked about for the dairy goats. They are also make great pets. And this is a new breed here. This is actually a Nubian mini, which is a cross between a Nigerian dwarf and a Nubian goat. And then we have some facts. Goats can actually be very stubborn. I've shown goats at the fair, and when you have their leash and collar on them and you're getting ready to move, if they decide they do not want to move, they will lock all four of their feet on the ground and refuse to move and stay in that spot. This kind of goes with this. They hate rain. You can actually find them in the barn before it even starts to rain. And if there is a mud puddle on the ground, they will never walk through it. They will very carefully walk around it, making sure not to get wet. They also love to climb on hay bales and rocks, and sometimes even farm equipment. Now, the picture up there we have of goats on hay bales. At my house, we had some hay bale that had gotten up against the fence in our pen. Well, our garden, which was on the other side, my dad had put a ton of hay bales in there, and one of them had gotten up against the fence on the other side. So the goats had jumped on the hay bale in their pen, jumped over the fence onto the hay bales in the garden, and continued to jump on the hay bales around the garden until we finally got them in, about an hour later. Which kind of falls into them being escape artists because of that, and if there's a hole in the fence, they will find it. They're also very picky eaters. A lot of people ask if goats can eat everything. Well, you might find that they might try to chew on your shirt or maybe even try to yank a piece of paper out of your hand. but they're actually extremely picky eaters, and they won't eat food that's been on the ground or that's been spoiled or that's even been wet. We one time tried to change my goats' feed from the feed they were eating to something else, and they would not touch it. They noticed the difference, and they were not going to eat it. They are also herbivores, which means sometimes they won't even eat grass. They tend to like to eat more shrubs and bushes. In conclusion, there are more than 450 million goats around the world. There are many breeds of goats, from Boer goats, like your meat goats, and your dairy goats, and your goats for fiber. And then you have your pygmy goats, which is the most popular breed as pets. They can be stubborn, picky eaters, and escape artists, but in the end, this is what makes goats unique.